Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Abby with Abby Reviews, and this is going to be my review and recap for Superman and Lois Season 1, Episode 6. Now, they've been gone a minute, and we just been sitting here waiting. I don't remember what happened on the last episode. Hopefully they give us a recap at the beginning of this episode so I'll be caught back up. But we love Superman. We love the twins. Hopefully, everybody can get their life together. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, I remember. We found out that Lex Luthor from alternate universe, Lex Luthor, was married to Lois, and that's why he's stalking her in this universe. Child, we gonna see what happens, child. This is gonna be a mess. Okay, so we start back where we left off, where Tag, the boy who was glitching. So Jordan got beat up pretty bad. His dad, of course, came and saved him. And he tells his mom and dad that he wanted to know what happened. He saw the video from the night of the explosion and what did you do to me and all these good things. And it was like, why would he think that you are the cause of his issue? And they realized that there's a video out of him losing it and exploding that thing at that party. And so Lois is like, watch the boys. You take care of the boys while we figure out where Tag is. Until Tag is found and taken back into custody. And I got to break this story. So he's like, Jordan, more and more powers are coming online for Jordan. Now he's getting super hearing because when they come downstairs for breakfast, Jonathan is sticking his fork in a bowl of fruit and like it's a pounding headache. And so Clark says to the boy, now, Clark sees that there's an issue, and he wants him to sit out the football game the next day. And they're both Jordan and Jonathan is like, it's our biggest game. It's against our old school. Like, I'm good to go. Let me play. And he's like, you're 100% good. He was like, yeah. He's like, okay. So after school, you come here and you can prove it. Because you know Jordan is lying. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're at the mine where Mr. Edge is doing his speech about opening the mine and jobs and everything. And so he goes over, after the speech, he goes over to talk to Lana and her fireman husband. The fireman husband, he was like, baby. So the fireman husband's like, oh, thank you. He was like, no, thank you. You know, without you, this wouldn't be happening. He's like, and I want to put he wants to start a leadership team, a strong leadership team for Smallville. And then he said, for you, Lana, to be in a leadership role. And the husband was like, wait, what? You just thanked me for all of my advocacy and getting this deal done and reaching out to the people. In a leadership role for this team, you're going to get face cracked on the floor, Chad. Now, he didn't say nothing, but his face was like, no, I know you lying to me. And Lana was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. He was like, hopefully you'll see the salary and you'll say yes. And so Mr. Edge and his henchmen see Lois, and she was like, the henchman was like, you want me to take care of her? He was like, why? She can't do nothing. And then, so Lex Luthor, who says his name is Marcus, walks up to Lois, and he was like, you find a way to get into the mine? Yeah. He's like, no, have you? He's like, no. And he was like, they was like, well, may the best reporter win. And she's like, okay, whatever. Child, he gonna think he gonna seduce her away from Superman. Sarah, go sit down. Okay, now the boys are at school. And they're talking about, oh, we don't want to miss the game, blah, blah, blue, blue. Jonathan goes to close his locker is sounding astronomical to Jordan. He's like, why you got to slam it? He's like, I didn't slam it. And then baby girl, who told him she want to be friends when he got feelings for, she was like, I hope you do, what happened to your face? And they made up an excuse about his face. And she's like, I hope you're doing better tomorrow. I don't want to go all the way Metropolis just to see. And so Jonathan says to Jordan, when she walks off, oh, I see now why you want to go to the game, why you want to participate in the game. He said, you tripping. His school bells start ringing for the next class. It is overwhelming to that baby. And he crouches down and his eyes started glowing red and shit. He ain't gonna be able to play no game like that. I don't know what's happening. But he gonna have to get control of that. So much is happening, y'all. So the children is at the football game. And so they getting taunted. The little boy, Jordan is getting taunted by one of the school bullies from the old school. And so the first time the bell goes off and he freaks out and the quarterback gets sacked and he gets hurt. So Jonathan says to the coach, it's like, we're getting killed out there. We need a quarterback. He's like, I don't have a quarterback. He's like, you got me. I know our plays. I know their plays. I got this. Let me in. He's like, okay. Blue 34 on the right slide, Z pattern on 3. I don't know what the hell that means, but he goes on out there. and so once he gets out there, Jordan has gotten himself back together from the spell of the high-pitched noise. And so he sacks the little boy. And so once he knocks the boy down, he tackles the little boy. He stands over him and he taunts him. And so he runs. And then his father's like, come over here. And so he runs over there and talks. He's like, if you do that again, I'll pull you. He said, what? I just made a sack. He was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And you know it. And he's like, I guess. So the game tends to go on. And the children, a play goes and Jordan ends up on the bottom of the pile. The boys are fighting and kicking and stomping him. And he's trying to hold it in because his eyes are turning red. And so they're like, oh, he may be hurt. So Clark runs out there. And he was like, and Jordan is furiously trying to hold it in and not let his eyes blow up everything on the field. And he's like, Dad, I'm trying to hold it. And so Clark puts his hands over the eyes of Jordan. And he's like, just let go. Just let it go. Let it go now. And so he's catching the fire in his hands. And you can see Clark is clearly in pain. Jordan is trying to get his life together. Meanwhile, Mama Lois is at the house. And she is trying to get a pass to get into that mine so she could blow the whole thing, the roof off of the edge thing. And so all of a sudden she hears at the door. She's like, we live out in the middle of nowhere. You're not coming here unless it's a purpose. I didn't invite anybody. Who the hell is at my door? So she starts walking slowly to the door, and she puts her hand in her back pocket like she got that thing on her. And that thing for her is not a gun. It's the communicator to get Superman to come back to the house. So it's literally like she got that thing on her. So she's walking slowly, talking about, who is it? And he was like, your favorite co-person or whatever. And it's Marcus. She's like, what the hell are you doing here? He was like, I got a friend who got me 2 passes. Are you still willing to share a byline? Because I'll give you a pass so you can get. She was like, you're just going to give me a pass? He was like, yeah, but I need you to look as inconspicuous as possible. So they dressed in uniform to go. So now they dressed as mine workers with these passes as inspectors to go in and inspect the mine. So, and that's where we went to commercial. Let's jump back in and see where we at now. Okay, side note, I almost forgot about this part. Jesus Christ. So, Sarah, the little friend, she's at home with her little sister. She's babysitting. And so, they were talking about everybody's looking for Tag. Nobody can find Tag. So they're about to watch a movie and there's a knock at the door. She goes to the door. It's Tag. And he was like, you've always been my friend. You've always been an advocate. Blah, blah, blue, blue, blue. And she was like, well, what's wrong? And before he could tell, he starts to glitch. And she was like, oh my God. And she starts to close the door. But he grabs the door and it hit it with so much force. He knocked her head, hit the table. He knocked her out. He was like, oh my God, Sarah. And then it cuts to some other stuff. So we get back to her house and her parents have come home. Sarah is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Now the mama and daddy are starting to panic, and daddy said he gonna look at the tapes. He gonna see that boy come to the door and her get knocked out. It's about to be a problem. Okay, child, this is a lot. So Superman is talking to Jordan about him freaking out on the field, and he was like, why didn't you tell me what was going on? He was like, because I just wanted a chance to show them you know how they treated me. I just wanted a chance to get back. And he was like, but that's not what your powers are for. He was like, I know, but I don't get to grow up and be Superman. I'm just a weird kid who has powers and headaches. And I just wanted his validation. He was like, we'll talk about this. We're going to have to talk about this. And then Lana calls Clark and asks, was baby girl at the game? And he was like, no, why? And she was like, I thought because she's not here and she was supposed to be here with her sister. And we thought maybe she changed her plans and went to the game instead. And then while she's doing that, they get and so Daddy is like, ain't that Harris boy when he's looking at the video footage on the camera? And it was like, yeah, that's him. And Clark was like, she was like, okay, Clark, we got to go. And so now Clark is on his way. He tell the boys, don't go nowhere. They're like, what's going on? There's like, he said, don't you leave here. Don't go anywhere. And so then we go back to Lois and Marcus. They've made their way down into the mine, and he has some device that cut into the walls, and they found the crystals in the wall. And he's like, this, Lois Lane, is your story. And she's like, what is it? And she was like, X-kryptonite is what they use to give people powers. And she was like, this is the discovery. And then the henchman from Mr. Edge's henchman, old girl, said, but you're never going to be able to tell that story. And her eyes are glowing red, and they about to get blowed up. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. That was a lot. So, Taggart is trying to explain that he shows the video to... Okay, so Tag shows Sarah the video of when Jordan's powers came online and the thing shot out in the explosion and stuff. And he's trying to explain to her something was done to him and he doesn't know what's going on now. He has these powers and all da. Superman shows up. He's trying to get that baby. He's like, listen, I just need you to come with me. Don't leave. You know, I'm going to get you some help. He was like, you took me to those DOD people. He was like, I understand, but I need you to trust me. They are coming to get you. And they show up and they want to, they talk about any means necessary. And so they start shooting at the little boy. And of course, Superman jumps in front of all of the bullets, but they shot some green shit into him. Maybe some kryptonite situations right here. And his eyes started glowing like he finna blow some shit up. Simultaneously, of course, the rest of the players come to the boys' room and say, let's go get some drinks and celebrate properly. Now, both Jordan and Jonathan are like, we can't. Our dad told us really not to leave. This is a bad idea. And it was like, we're just going to get drinks. It's not going to be but so much. And they, of course, bow to peer pressure. And they go out. And so they're hanging out on the sidewalk, drinking, having a good time, giggling, kiki, and ha. And the opposing team is coming up the street. And, of course, they kind of give Jonathan some crap. So the one boy is talking about he's dating the girl that broke up with him now. And I knew we used to be friends and blah, blah, blue, blue. And so Jonathan is paying him dust. And so he starts jumping in on Jordan, talk about, are you juicing? Is that how you got to be so good? Are you juicing? Are you juicing? He's like, what you gonna do, cry baby? Ba, 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 ba. And he's really steaming it up. And then Jordan rears back his fist to punch the bejesus out this fool. And Jonathan steps in and takes the brunt into his hand. Hopefully it's not broken because he just became a quarterback. But now both Jordan and Jonathan are like, we can't. Our dad told us really not to leave. This is a bad idea. And it was like, we're just going to get drinks. It's not going to be but so much. And they, of course, bow to peer pressure. And they go out. And so they're hanging out on the sidewalk, drinking, having a good time, giggling, kiki, and ha. And the opposing team is coming up the street. And, of course, they kind of give Jonathan some crap. So the one boy is talking about he's dating the girl that broke up with him now. And I knew we used to be friends and blah, blah, blue, blue. And so Jonathan is paying him dust. And so he starts jumping in on Jordan, talk about, are you juicing? Is that how you got to be so good? Are you juicing? Are you juicing? He's like, what you gonna do, cry baby? Ba, 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 ba. And he's really steaming it up. And then Jordan rears back his fist to punch the bejesus out this fool. And Jonathan steps in and takes the brunt into his hand. Hopefully it's not broken because he just became a quarterback. But okay, can I just say that I love the fact that this show is taking superpowers and how you control them when they first come online and how you are supposed to go about and be in your life very seriously, like very realistically, like how some shit would actually happen. So, of course, the boys were with their teammates and the other team shows up and they get into an altercation, and Jonathan, being who he is, steps in when Jordan is about to pop that boy in the mouth and he'd have knocked his damn head off, and ends up with a broken hand because he absorbed the impact. Now Jonathan is rightfully in for his feelings because he's 6 to 8 weeks with that cast on, and he may get full range of motion, he may not. Jordan is like, but I didn't mean to. And he's like, we understand that you didn't mean to, but that still doesn't negate what happened. You don't understand. I don't remember where I left off because my thing was acting crazy. But Superman says to Jordan, you know, those feelings of anger that you had, I had those too, and I had to learn to control it. Because when I first came out with my powers, there was a lot of questioning about what somebody with these powers, how they should be handled. And I had to gain the trust of the people. And every time I use my powers, it's a test of that trust. And once you break that trust, it's a lot harder to get it back. So we need you to do better, and we need you to get it, and get it now. Oh, God. This is a really good show. This show is trying to bring out the thug tears. I didn't ask for an emotional breakdown in my Superman and Lois. Jesus Christ. Okay, so Clark and Lois have a conversation. She tells them, I guess this would not be a good time to tell you. So Superman and Lois explains what happened to her with Marcus and how he pulled out a laser beam, and that's how they got away. He was like, what is a reporter doing with a laser gun? That doesn't even make any sense. She's like, well, clearly he's not a reporter, Clark. I'm going to figure out who he is and figure out what's going on with Morgan Edge. Do you know what X-Kryptonite is? And they're trying to figure out that shit. Meanwhile, next thing you know, Lana and Lois are now in cahoots to figure out what is going on with Morgan Edge and what the hell he's doing. Lana, I feel like you just fought her, babe. You listen, do the best you can. Then poor Jordan is out on the porch talking to his mama. She's like, you think you're 6? She offered him ice cream. He's like, what am I, 6? She's like, sometimes I wish you were. I miss my baby. Oh, sweet. And then he's distraught because he's like, I heard the bones break in Jonathan's hands, and I hurt him bad, and I didn't mean to. And I had to tell my best friend a lie when she was just looking for the truth. And I just feel like I thought these powers bring me closer to people, but it's just pushing me further away. The baby starts having a mental and emotional breakdown with his mama and crying and stuff. And then he starts to sneeze, and then he starts having seizures, and then she calls for Clark, and Clark looks, and he does this little x-ray vision thing. He's like, I gotta get him to the fortress. And they took off, and that's how the episode ended. Welcome back, Lois. Superman and Lois. I have missed y'all. This show, I forgot how good it was. Oh my God. Completely in my feelings about everything. But that's my recap. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a kin. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.